Here we go again. These videos will be the introduction to statistics. Our goal is to identify individuals and variables in data, and we're going to classify variables as either categorical or quantitative. First, we have to define what statistics is. Statistics is a science and an art of collecting data. Then, we're going to gather that data, analyze that data, and then draw a conclusion from that data. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to know some statistics. There's generally two types of statistics. There's a descriptive statistics which summarize data. There's inferential statistics which draw conclusions about a population based on samples taken from the population. We will talk about descriptive statistics and inferential statistics in far more greater detail in other videos a lot later. Time to go over organizing data. The table displays some of the top box office movies as of January 2024. Most data tables following this format. Each row describes an individual. So to set up our current table, we have movies as our individuals. Each column holds the value of a variable. So our variables are going to be years, rating, time, genre, and box office. We're going to now formally define our individuals. An individual is an object described in a set of data. Individuals can be people, animals, or things. Single objects. So when we think about individuals, we want to think about single objects, things that don't change. We have Avatar as the first on our list. Then we have Avengers, followed by Avatar, Way of the Water. Even though Avatar shows up twice, these are two different types of movies. The name Avatar and Avatar Way of Water indicates that these are two individual types of movies. We also want to note that some individuals in data sets are called cases or observational units. Now we're going to go over variables. A variable is a characteristic number or quantity that can be measured or counted and that can vary between data units. Typically, we're going to focus on two things when we talk about variables: characteristics and numbers. We can further define rates and genres as categorical variables because our ratings can be different type of characteristics. Here we have a bunch of PG-13 movies. However, we can also have rated R movies, G movies, etc. And when we're defining years, times, and box office as quantitative variables, because these all involve numbers where we can perform some kind of mathematical operations to and have meaning behind them. Some variables, like years, can be both categorical or quantitative variables. Note, years might be considered categorical variables if we want to know how many movies were made each year rather than the average year. Variables can be broken up into two types. We have categorical variables, sometimes we call it qualitative, and we have quantitative variables, sometimes we call numerical. We now want to formally define these two types of variables. So starting off with categorical. A categorical variable assigns labels that can be placed each individual into a particular group called categories. So we're going to focus on the word grouping. Now, quantitative variables take on number values that are quantities, counting or measurements. So we're looking at numbers that we can perform some kind of mathematical operation and have some meaning behind it. So that's the basic introduction to statistics. We define what statistics is, and we briefly described the two types of statistics that we'll learn later on. Descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. We cover our goal by identifying individuals and variables. We described what variables are, where they can be classified as categorical or quantitative. Then it's a break time. Like and subscribe. But when we come back, we'll talk about the subcategories for categorical variables, which include ordinal, nominal, and secretly binary, and the subcategories of quantitative variables, which has two types, continuous and discrete.